In 1992, I stepped on the stage and won nationals in heavyweight. But the real story, training, diet, steroid cycle, it was locked away for over 30 years until now. And this wasn't just another competition. It was a culmination of years and years of hard work. And I never planned to show anyone this diary. It was raw, honest, and detailed. Exactly how I lived the last 16 weeks before the show. Now, I already had a few titles under my belt, and in 1987 I won the first one. I was big, I was in good shape, but I just felt I can be much bigger. And this was obviously my goal and my plan for 1988. I trained hard, I did my best, and I won that nationals again, heavyweight. But as you can see on these images, I ended up being really big, symmetrical, proportionate. But I felt that my conditioning could have been much, much better. Now, the next year, 1999, again, the same story. 1989, the same story. I won, I was big, I was better, but I still had that feeling that I can do even better than that. Unfortunately, the following year, I had a motorbike accident and broke my tibia, and I ended up in hospital. I had to be operated. I spent 2.5 weeks in the hospital. And I can tell you, I was absolutely devastated. I was in a very dark place, not necessarily because of the pain and everything I went through, but because of the thought that maybe that was the end of my career. And I was doubting that after such a bad injury, I can be back on the stage ever. So that was really, really bad time for me. But somehow I got out of the hospital. I was fixed, and slowly I started training, obviously upper body as much as I could have, and then it took me a couple of months to start slowly doing my legs. I was very careful about that, and finally I reached the point that I could have started doing legs with more intensity. I started squatting again. I didn't feel any pain, any issue with that. But again, obviously, because my right leg was obviously, it shrunk. It was half size of the left leg. So imagine, for a national competitor and member of national team in bodybuilding, something like that was absolutely devastating. But as I said, I started slowly getting back, and my right leg started getting back to normal. And once I felt that I am finally on my both feet, my training intensity increased, and I started contemplating about another show. Now, I don't know if that is the rule or it is just my case, my story, that after, once you hit the bottom, the only way from there is up. But this time it wasn't just up for me. I was so motivated, I was so dedicated that I wanted to get on the stage in 1992 in the best shape ever. I wanted to be big, I wanted to be proportionate, I wanted to be shredded and show the package that nobody was ever able to present. So I was extremely focused on everything, and in my case, when I decide to do something, this is me all my life. This is not a matter of if, but it's only the matter of when. So if I decide to do something, I know that is going to happen. So I didn't just want to be back on stage and win another show. I wanted to be back and shock everybody. And this is exactly what happened. In 1992, I stepped on the stage, and all the judges gave me the first place. They said, after the show, they said to me, you have been awarded the first place during your walking out on the stage, not necessarily posing and comparison parts, but simply walking out. I was shredded, my glutes were shredded, my legs were shredded, my abs were up. I was in a fantastic shape. So I have documented everything in my diary, that I called unfiltered diary, and I have written everything about my training, about my diet, steroid cycle as well. So when it comes to training, I focused in last 16 weeks. I wanted to be the first 4 weeks should have been the peak of my attempt to get as big as possible while still being hard. But the aim was to get as dense, as big as humanly possible in those 4 weeks. So the training was as such that I have created a training plan that actually allowed me to achieve exactly that. Then as I have broken down everything in sections of 4 weeks, because they're altogether 16, so these are like 6 parts when it comes to training, when it comes to diet, and when it comes to my steroid cycle. So in my diary, I explain everything in parts. So in the first 4 weeks, following 4 weeks, etc. So my training has changed. I started training with more higher frequency, and I actually ended up last 4 weeks training twice a day. But obviously in my diary I explain exactly what muscle groups and exact number of reps and sets and everything what I have done in those 16 weeks. The training has changed. Every 4 weeks training was changing. I didn't do any cardio because I never believed in cardio, but training was the key for getting big, getting dense, and obviously getting shredded. Now, clearly, without the proper diet, this is impossible to achieve. So training and diet, they go hand to hand, hand in hand. So my diet was absolutely immaculate when I started. I was on a relatively high amount of protein, low to medium fat, but medium carbohydrates in the first 4 weeks. But as I progressed towards the show, that ratio between protein, fat, and carbs started changing, and I ended up in last 4 weeks being on very high amount of protein and low fat and low carbs. But again, in my diary, I've broken down everything into details, so you can see how I have done it literally week by week. Now, when it comes to my steroid cycle, I decided to focus on more androgenic compounds in the first 4 weeks, less anabolic. But as I have progressed, I was progressing towards the show, the androgenic compounds were lowered down, and the anabolic compounds that I preferred in those days were becoming more dominant. So I ended up with predominantly anabolic compounds, but also some androgenic compounds still within the cycle. So that allowed me to present the best possible shape, the best shape I have ever achieved, without any water retention, and helped me to burn even that most stubborn body fat, like on your glutes, lower back, etc. So in my diary, I have explained in detail again everything about training, diet, and steroid cycle. So I just want to say that this diary is not just a theory; it's a real winning preparation, and there is no sugar coating, no holding back, and you can see the exact blueprint I used, my mistakes, my victories, and everything. So you can download my unfiltered diary today for only £49, but this price will be available only for 2 weeks. After that, it will be more. So if you are serious about bodybuilding, you really don't want to miss this, because this is not often that somebody gives you exactly the whole 16 weeks of preparation, not just about training and diet, but also steroid cycle. So I hope you will learn a lot from what I have done. That doesn't mean that you have to do the same, but it's good to know how things are in the real world, how things are in competitive bodybuilding, and what I have done in order to win shows. So guys, I hope you will benefit greatly from my diary, and I see you in this video as well, because on my website I also offer other services like personal training online, telephone consultations, and personalized training programs and nutritional programs, as well as one-to-one personal training for people who live in London. So watch that video in which I explain everything about my offers, and obviously you will get the link to all my ebooks, including my diary. So until the next video, I wish you all the best.